shutdown, even the more radical Republican hopefuls see an opportunity to sell themselves as the voice of reason. Christie isn't the only Republican governor who's positioning himself to become the next star of the party. Case in point, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. Walker nearly broke his arm patting himself on the back in an op-ed in the Washington Post today. He wrote, "Our state faced big problems. We were at a turning point. So together, the legislature and I worked to fix the economic and fiscal crisis holding Wisconsin back." Walker fails to mention that the state has actually just been borrowing more money. Walker doesn't mention rejecting $4.4 billion in federal Medicaid assistance. Walker promised to create 250,000 jobs in his term. Well, you know what? He didn't mention the state would have to add 160,000 jobs in 16 months to meet that goal. They're way behind. Oh, wait a minute. It's the recall's fault. Walker definitely doesn't mention slashing education by nearly $1 billion and attacking unions, middle-class workers. The sad thing is, the Tea Party extremists in Washington give these radical Republicans a chance to look reasonable. Joining me now, our rapid response panel, author Liz Winstead, the GRIO contributor Zerlina Maxwell, and also Joan Walsh, Salon.com. Joan, you first. There's some battling going on right now. What do you make of Christie behind closed doors with Senate Republicans today?
I think it's very interesting. You know, I mean, he did make news at this debate. He is running for president. It was practically a declaration. So, Christine, you made news. You got the story. He was so condescending to her. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, he's running, and I think Barbara Buono, it's an uphill battle, but she made some really good points. And one of them is he's not running for, only one person on that stage is running for governor. He's running for president, she's running for governor, and he is going to tack right every chance he gets to make up for the simple fact that he was not cruel to President Obama and he did not reject Sandy aid. That is going to doom him with the electorate. I do not believe he can get through a Republican primary, but he's got to go far right, attack poor Barbara Buono's gay daughter, veto Planned Parenthood, demonize Planned Parenthood, because he's running for president. Everything he does is about that.
Zerlina, you think he's behind closed doors with Senate Republicans telling him you got to do a deal? I know, I've dealt with Obama. It doesn't hurt you?
No, I really think that he should be saying that, but we don't really know, because I think he's setting himself up for the big pander, right? Like Joan said, he has to win a primary. So right now he has good approval ratings in a blue state like New Jersey. So, you know, he could be competitive in a general, but the primary is first. We all know what that looked like, and we all know how that damaged Mitt Romney in 2012.
See, I disagree. Yeah. I think he is saying that because he doesn't want to be the only guy that compromised with Obama. If he gets in behind closed doors and says, do it, it's not that bad, then guess what? He has a whole bunch of people who, when he's primarying, won't say, he dealt with Obama. He's going to have to deal with a whole bunch of other guys running for that job, too, who did.
So he's counting on collecting the reasonable independents if they're still out there, right?
Well, that's
but they don't vote in Republican primaries,
right?
You know, I mean, that will be useful if he were ever to get to a general election.
What about Scott Walker, Zerlina?
Well, Scott Walker, I mean, is he kidding me with this, I've done it right? No, you were recalled because you were doing it totally wrong. I think that it's actually hilarious that he would, you know, lecture Democrats and the president on how to negotiate with the other side of the aisle when all of those things he was listing as his accomplishments, he didn't use Democrats to pass any of it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
All right, shutdown talk. Let's now turn to Miss Frustrated Liz Winstead.
I can't even believe you're booking me on your show. Like it's risky. I mean, when you look at these two goons, and stop comparing them to the crazies. It's like they're like radon in your basement. You don't smell them, it's awful, but your house could blow up, right? Instead of the, my house is on fire, Bachman types. People need to do a reset and realize it's a Sophie's choice. It's the government is shut down. The good news is these people aren't destroying it anymore. If you get Walker or Chris Christie, it's the government's open and their horrible policies get put through. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right.
Joan?
You know, you scared me by saying you believe we're headed to default. You really, you rattled me. I got to say, Ed, I can't argue with you, but you know, I'm very concerned, and I don't like this talk about a 6-week, you know, extension as some kind of compromise because I don't know what it gets us.
You're eventually going to get to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, them attacking all the earned benefit programs that Americans have worked all their lives for. That's what they're after.
Right.
And this deadline to deadline is just getting getting them one step closer to it. I do believe we're headed for default because they want President Obama to be, to their base, the broken man who couldn't do the deal.
Seriously,
Right.
it's going to be, they're going to whittle things down to basically Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security is going to consist of a loaf of bread and a bucket of leeches. See you later. That's where we're heading.
And the fish don't always bite.
That's right.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
Zerlina, what is the best play for the Democrats right now? The president is meeting with House Democrats today. If you look in the Twitter world, you're seeing that everybody is excited on the left, because the Democrats are actually sticking together.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is that we're dealing with default, right? So Democrats are responsible when they take office and they're governing the country, and so they don't want to default. And so you're in between a rock and a hard place, because if you negotiate, then you're pandering. You've already negotiated already, right? We're at $986 billion. That was already a huge shift.
Yeah, they took their numbers on the sequestration
and so
numbers,
if
on the continuing resolution.
Exactly.
Boehner says, okay, I'll do this deal, goes back, can't get it done with his caucus.
Can't get anything done with this caucus. And, you know, the only thing that's going to let us see the emergence of more moderate Republicans is to call their bluff. The only reason they can hang tough because they really do expect the Democrats and the president to compromise and bail them out, and he can't do it again.
I don't mean to scare you, but we are going to default. I believe they have done nothing to make us believe that they would be an honest broker and do what's right for the country. If you just look at their behavior on everything.
Right.
I mean,
not some things, everything.
Every single thing. They're like spewing camels. It is disgusting.
And John McCain gets all this credit for not filibustering, but then he goes ahead and he votes against the same clean CR. They all vote against the clean CR. Yeah. They did us the kindness of allowing it to be debated and passed with Democratic votes.
Joan, Zerlina, Liz, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ed.